David Grusch, a former US intelligence officer, has emerged as one of the most polarizing figures in the ongoing discussions surrounding UFOs and government transparency. Through testimony, interviews, and public appearances, Grusch has made a series of extraordinary claims, suggesting that humanity's understanding of extraterrestrial phenomena has been systematically concealed for decades. In a 2023 interview, Grusch alleged that the US government has operated a secretive program for decades dedicated to recovering and studying crashed UFOs. According to Grusch, this program involves the retrieval of advanced, non-human spacecraft, with some of these efforts dating back to the mid-20th century. He claimed that certain materials recovered were not only alien in origin, but also demonstrated technology far beyond human capability. Grusch stated that the program is shrouded in secrecy, operating outside the purview of elected officials and the general public, raising concerns about unchecked power and accountability. Grusch's testimony during a 2023 congressional hearing captured global attention. Under oath, he asserted that the US government has recovered non-human biologics from UFO crash sites. These biologics, he claimed, were tied to extraterrestrial life, a revelation that could challenge humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. Grusch's statements were part of broader discussions about the need for transparency surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena. The hearing was a pivotal moment, marking one of the few times such allegations were discussed openly in a political setting. Grusch expanded on the historical context of UFO encounters, claiming that the earliest recorded recovery occurred in Italy in 1933. According to him, the Mussolini regime secured the crashed craft, which was later acquired by the United States in 1944 through the help of the Vatican and Allied intelligence services. Grusch suggested that this incident marked the beginning of a coordinated international effort to conceal UFO evidence. If accurate, this account would represent a nearly century-long cover-up involving multiple governments and institutions. During an in-depth appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Grusch delved into his most startling claims. He described briefing sessions with high-ranking officials about recovered alien technologies, which he said had been subjected to reverse engineering programs. Grusch detailed accounts of UFOs displaying capabilities such as instant acceleration, defying gravity, and invisibility, technologies he described as light years ahead of current human engineering. The podcast episode sparked intense debate, with listeners divided between awe and the implications and skepticism due to the lack of tangible evidence. Grusch has openly discussed the personal toll of coming forward with his allegations. He claimed to have faced threats and intimidation designed to silence him. These challenges, he suggested, were part of a broader effort to suppress information about UFOs and non-human intelligence. Despite these pressures, Grusch has remained vocal, framing his efforts as a moral obligation to expose what he considers a significant cover-up. Grusch has also alleged that the secrecy surrounding UFOs is not limited to the United States. He claimed that multiple nations, including members of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, have shared knowledge about extraterrestrial encounters and collaborated to maintain secrecy. This alleged global effort involves agreements to conceal recovered materials and information, ensuring that no single country independently reveals the truth. Grusch's allegations raise questions about the extent of international complicity and whether global transparency on the subject is even feasible. A central theme in Grusch's claims is the alleged reverse engineering of recovered alien technologies. He has asserted that the US government and private aerospace companies have conducted classified research to understand and potentially replicate these advanced technologies. According to Grusch, some of these efforts have yielded breakthroughs in propulsion and material science, though the results remain hidden from the public. He suggested that the secrecy surrounding these programs is motivated by fears of disrupting global power dynamics and technological monopolies. Grusch has stated that UFO activity is not merely a relic of the past, but a persistent and ongoing phenomenon. He claimed that advanced non-human craft have been detected in recent years, exhibiting capabilities that defy conventional physics. astrophysics. These crafts, he said, have been observed performing maneuvers such as hypersonic speeds, abrupt directional changes, and invisibility. Grusch has argued that these sightings warrant serious scientific investigation, as they could have profound implications for national security and technological advancement. Grusch has accused private aerospace companies of playing a central role in concealing UFO-related materials and research. He alleged that some of these firms have been entrusted with alien craft and biologics, effectively removing them from direct government oversight. Grusch suggested that this arrangement allows for plausible deniability while also ensuring that the knowledge remains controlled by a select few. These allegations have sparked calls for greater scrutiny of the private sector's involvement in UFO programs. In his public statements, Grusch has speculated about the potential consequences of fully disclosing UFO-related information. He suggested that revealing evidence of extraterrestrial life and advanced technologies could revolutionize fields like energy, transportation, and communication. However, he also warned of possible societal disruptions, including challenges to religious, political, and economic systems. Grusch believes that the decision to withhold such information stems from concerns about humanity's readiness to handle these revelations responsibly. David Grusch's claims have sparked intense debate and renewed focus on the UFO phenomenon. Supporters view him as a courageous whistleblower shedding light on decades of secrecy, while skeptics argue that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Regardless of one's stance, Grusch has undeniably pushed the conversation about extraterrestrial life and government transparency into the mainstream, leaving the public and lawmakers to grapple with the implications of his assertions. For a deeper dive into Grusch's perspective, his testimony before Congress and his interview on the Joe Rogan Experience offer compelling insights into his motivations and the scope of his claims.
The Mystery of Martian microbes. In 1996, NASA made headlines with the discovery that hinted at the possibility of ancient Martian life. A meteorite named Allen Hills 84001. It was believed to have been originated from Mars. It was originally found in Antarctica. Now, when scientists examined this rock, they uncovered tiny, worm-like structures resembling fossilized bacteria. These microscopic formations, along with chemical traces like magnetite crystals and carbonate globules, often linked to biology activity on Earth, here where life is thriving. This of course sparked global intrigue. Though scientists debated whether these signs were biological or purely chemical, the discovery alone reignited interest in Mars, and inspired a wave of missions like NASA's Perseverance rover, which is now exploring the Martian surface for biosignatures. While ALH 84001 didn't prove definitive proof of life just yet, it did set the stage for the ongoing quest to answer whether Mars was once alive or, even more importantly, could be again. Titan's otherworldly oceans. Saturn's moon Titan is a place of alien beauty and scientific fascination. Thanks to the Cassini spacecraft, we know that Titan boasts vast lakes and seas not of water but of liquid methane and ethane. Its thick nitrogen-rich atmosphere and dynamic weather systems eerily mimic Earth's hydrological cycle. But what really excites scientists here are the complex organic molecules that Cassini found in its atmosphere. These are building blocks that could hint at exotic forms of life. Even more compelling is the theory that Titan harbors a hidden ocean of liquid water beneath its icy crust, warmed by the moon's internal heat. Now, this opens the possibility of life existing in two drastically different environments on the same celestial body. How exciting is that? NASA's upcoming Dragonfly mission, which is set to launch in 2027, it's going to explore Titan's surface and study its atmospheric chemistry, which would bring us closer to unraveling the mysteries of this methane-rich world. Venus and the phosphine enigma. Venus might seem like the last place to search for life in our universe, but with its scorching heat and acidic atmosphere, it doesn't sound like an ideal place to live. But in 2020, astronomers detected something quite extraordinary: phosphine gas. Found high in Venus's cooler cloud layers, this gas is associated with biological processes on Earth, sparking speculation that microbial life could exist in Venus's atmosphere. Now we got two planets with life. What's going on here? While skeptics point to potential non-biological explanations, such as volcanic activity, the discovery alone has rekindled interest in the second planet from the Sun. NASA and ESA are planning missions, including Veritas and Envision, to study Venus's geology and atmosphere. Now, whether the phosphine here is a clue to alien microbes or just a chemical mystery, Venus is now back in the spotlight as a candidate for extraterrestrial life. The WOW signals cosmic puzzle. In 1977, astronomers scanning the skies for alien signals stumbled upon something quite extraordinary. The Big Ear radio telescope detected a powerful 72-second burst of radio waves from the constellation Sagittarius. Yeah, all the way out there, we heard something. Now, the signal was so striking that astronomer Jerry Eman actually wrote down WOW on the data printout, of course giving its famous name. Now, unlike anything naturally occurring, the signal's intensity and frequency suggested a deliberate source. Yet, despite decades of searching, no similar signal has been detected again. It was a one-off. So could it have been a message from an intelligent civilization far out there in the cosmos, or just a cosmic coincidence? The WOW signal remains one of the greatest mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial life, driving ongoing efforts to listen for whispers from the stars, because, well, apparently they're talking out there. James Webb's Europa revelation. In 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope turned its focus to Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons, and it found something groundbreaking: carbon dioxide on its surface. Now, this carbon likely originated from Europa's subsurface ocean, strengthening the case that this is a hidden ocean that could support life. Now, Europa's vast ocean is thought to be in contact with a rocky seafloor, potentially mimicking Earth's hydrothermal vents, which is somehow thriving with life despite harsh conditions. Now, this upcoming Europa Clipper mission will explore the moon's icy shell and search for plumes of water vapor, aiming to uncover more about its habitat, and if we could live there one day. Webb's discovery is a tantalizing hint that Europa might harbor one of the greatest scientific discoveries of all time in extraterrestrial life. We're close, we're almost there. Saturn's moon Enceladus is a frozen world with a surprising secret. Beneath its icy crust lies a vast salty ocean. This is the theme we're seeing here on this list a lot. The Cassini spacecraft discovered this in 2005 when it observed water vapor and ice particles erupting from geysers at Enceladus' south pole. Now, these plumes contained organic compounds, salts, and molecular hydrogen, key ingredients all for life, for us. So scientists believe that the moon's ocean is heated by hydrothermal vents at the seafloor, which in turn would create conditions similar to those on Earth's ocean floors, where life thrives in the absence of sunlight. All those scary fish in the dark, they don't need anything down there. Cassini's findings make Enceladus a prime target for future exploration, as its geysers allow for sampling of the ocean without drilling through miles of ice first. This helps a lot. This seems more possible to discover. So upcoming missions aim to investigate these plumes in greater detail, keeping Enceladus at the forefront of the search for life. Proxima Centauri b and its habitable zone. Proxima Centauri b, an exoplanet orbiting the star closest to our solar system, made waves in 2016 when it was discovered within the habitable zone of the region where liquid water could exist on its surface. Located just 4.2 light years away, just a quick cosmic commute, this Earth-sized planet has now become one of the most exciting targets in the hunt for alien life. While its parent star, Proxima Centauri, is a red dwarf known for violent solar flares, some researchers speculate that Proxima b's potential atmospheric or magnetic field could protect it, allowing for the possibility of liquid water and even microbial life to thrive. Planned telescopes like the Extremely Large Telescope, the ELT, this will help scientists study its atmosphere for biosignatures, which brings us closer to understanding if this nearby world could be a second Earth. It's giving interstellar vibes. Hope they have corn up there. It's gonna be great. The mysterious signals of FRB. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs, they are these powerful millisecond-long bursts of radio waves from deep space, somewhere out there, way beyond. And in 2012, astronomers detected one that stood out very clearly. FRB 112-1102. Unlike other FRBs, this one repeated itself, sending multiple signals from a single distant galaxy 3 billion light years away. That's going to be a long text message. It's going to take a while to come through. While many FRBs have natural explanations like neutron stars or magnetars, the repeating nature of this FRB has led some scientists to ponder if it could be artificial, perhaps a beacon or signal from an advanced civilization of sorts. Instruments like the Chime Radio Telescope are now monitoring FRBs closely, hoping to unravel their mysterious origins, again, way beyond. Whether natural or extraterrestrial, these bursts do provide a fascinating glimpse into the vast and unexplored cosmos. Murph, is that you? Who is that? The Lorimer Burst. In 2007, a team of astronomers led by Dr. Duncan Lorimer detected an unusual high-energy burst of radio waves from a galaxy 3 billion light years away. That's further than we can even comprehend, and it was known as the Lorimer Burst. This fast radio burst, or FRB, like I mentioned earlier, was the first of its kind to ever be discovered. This was a game changer. The signal was unlike any other cosmic event up until that point. It was much more powerful than typical radio waves that we would get from stars, and scientists could not explain its origin, and we still can't. The burst lasted only a few milliseconds, but its intensity of course led to wild speculations, including theories that it could be the result of a collapsing neutron star, or even, you guessed it, extraterrestrial activity. Yeah, we got aliens up there sending some SOSs. Bob Lazar's claims about UFOs, alien technology, and secret government programs continue to spark heated debates. Whether you believe his story or not, the questions he raised about the possibilities of extraterrestrial life and advanced technologies have kept people fascinated and scared for decades. The UFOs at S4. Bob Lazar's most famous claim centers around the existence of 9 alien spacecraft hidden at a secretive base near Area 51. It's called S4. Now, Lazar stated that these UFOs were unlike anything that we've ever seen. According to him, these ships were shaped like discs with a highly advanced propulsion system that defied the laws of physics. How fun is that? The UFOs didn't use traditional engines or wings. Instead, they had a device that manipulated gravity, allowing them to float, hover, and zip around at unimaginable speeds. Yeah, they can control gravity. That's kind of not fair. Lazar even claimed that he got to work up close with one of these crafts, where he witnessed firsthand how it could move in ways that no human-made craft could, essentially appearing to break all known laws of physics. Element 115. One of the most significant claims Lazar made was about a mysterious element called Element 115. Now, when Lazar spoke about it in the late 1980s, Element 115 had not yet been discovered. Yeah, spoiler alerts, Lazar. He claimed that it was used as a power source for these UFOs. Now, according to Lazar, when Element 115 was exposed to radiation, it generated a gravity field strong enough to power the spacecraft, allowing them to float and travel at speeds that seem impossible by today's standards. In 2003, scientists created a synthetic version of Element 115, but it is highly unstable and only lasts for a fraction of a second. But that's a start. Lazar's description sparked further interest in the element, as it seemed to align with the scientific discovery of a new element, adding weight to his claims. Anti-gravity technology. Lazar often spoke about the anti-gravity technology used in these UFOs. It's the most important part, right? He describes it in detail. He claims the flying saucers would utilize a gravity manipulation device that bends the fabric of space-time around them. So nothing's going on in the ship, but they move everything else around it. Confusing. This device, in Lazar's view, didn't just allow the ships to float, it enabled them to perform maneuvers that seemed literally impossible, such as sharp turns, sudden stops, or instant accelerations without the inertia or forces that human pilots would experience. You ever see those videos of pilots passing out? That wouldn't happen here at all. Lazar suggested that the technology was so advanced that it defied everything we know about propulsion, gravity, and physics in general. He described it as a game changer, of course. If we could replicate it, it could revolutionize not only space travel, but energy generation as well. Yeah, no more buses. We're gonna be floating to school in the future. The sport model UFO. In addition to the larger, more mysterious crafts, Lazar also described a smaller UFO, which he referred to as the sport model. It's kind of funny. This craft was only about 16 feet wide and could carry a small crew or just a single pilot. Lazar had the opportunity to examine the sport model closely, and he describes its designs as unlike anything created by human beings. One of the most fascinating aspects of said sport model, according to Lazar, was its method of control. See, instead of using buttons, levers, or any conventional instrument, steering wheel, anything like that, this UFO seemed to respond directly to the pilot's thoughts. Imagine that. It was as if the ship was alive, anticipating the pilot's actions and moving accordingly. Lazar's descriptions made the ship seem more like a living organism rather than an actual machine, and he believed that it was the next step in extraterrestrial technology. Driving with your mind? That'd be a bad idea. Sometimes when I drive, I'll just kind of blank out and miss the last 5 streets. If that happened in space, you'd be lost forever. Gravity amplifiers. A crucial piece of the UFO's technology that Lazar described was the gravity amplifier. Now, these devices were used to manipulate gravitational fields and enabled the UFOs to achieve this incredible flight ability, right? According to Lazar, the gravity amplifiers worked by amplifying the gravitational field of element 15, which I talked about earlier. This would allow the UFO to manipulate space-time in such a way that they could just float lightly and move in ways that seem impossible for any Earth-made technology. Lazar emphasized that this was the key to understanding the UFO's ability to defy gravity and perform seemingly impossible feats like instant acceleration or sudden changes in direction. Maybe this is exactly what Lazar was talking about. Maybe that's why we can't get one of them on camera. They're too quick. The reverse engineering program. At S4, Lazar claimed that the government was running a program to reverse engineer alien technology, stuff we find lying around, with the goal of understanding how the UFOs worked and eventually using this knowledge to create human-made versions of the crafts. Lazar stated that his job was to help study the propulsion systems of the UFOs, although he was only given limited access to the technology. More than fair. I mean, it's alien technology, not everyone gets to touch it. He explained that the project was highly secretive and the scientists working on the UFOs weren't told everything. Each person involved only knew a small part of a large puzzle. Lazar believed the ultimate goal of the program was to develop advanced weaponry and technology by harnessing the power of alien spacecrafts. That would be terrifying. Independence Day, but make it real. Extraterrestrial biological entities. While Lazar didn't claim to have met any aliens himself, he did describe what he called extraterrestrial biological entities, or EBEs. These were alien beings that Lazar believed were connected to the UFOs that he worked on. He said that one of these beings was kept at Facility S4 and that it was a small, gray, and very similar to the grays often depicted in UFO lore. It was a little tiny gray alien. Apparently he saw it. He said he was told that the beings were part of ongoing research into alien technology. Now this of course adds another layer to Lazar's story, implying that the government not only has UFOs, but also has access to alien bodies or living extraterrestrials. Free my boy E.T. S4's location and security. So where is this S4 base that I keep mentioning? Lazar gave detailed descriptions of the secret base that he worked at, which he said was located near Papoose Lake, about 12 miles south of the famous Area 51. He claimed the base was highly secure with layers of protection to keep intruders away. Now Lazar described the base as having multiple security checkpoints, armed guards, surveillance cameras, and restricted areas. All the goods. He emphasized how secretive the whole operation was, with very few people knowing the full scope of the research taking place right there. Lazar himself was only allowed to work on certain parts of the UFOs, and he wasn't briefed on the bigger picture, right? They only know a small amount each. Now this sense of secrecy only deepened the mystery of S4, leading to endless speculation about what or where exactly the government is hiding. Project Pluto. One of the more intriguing pieces of Lazar's story involves a top secret project that he mentioned called Project Pluto. Lazar said this was the code name for the program aimed at studying alien spacecraft and attempting to reverse engineer their technology. Although Lazar didn't know all of the details, he believed that Project Pluto was one of the government's most ambitious and secretive operations ever, and it focused on understanding how the UFOs worked and how they could use their technology and, you know, make an iPod out of it or something crazy. Lazar's brief exposure to the project gave him insight into how the government was actively trying to decode alien tech, but he had only a small piece of the puzzle, so we gotta wait to find out more. Lazars Disappearance. After Lazar revealed his UFO-related claims, something strange happened. Many of his personal records seemed to disappear. He claimed to have attended both MIT and Caltech, but when researchers tried to verify this, there were no records of his attendance. Nothing could be found. Likewise, people who knew Lazar before his UFO story didn't seem to remember him now. Some people believe Lazar was intentionally erased from public records to silence him, suggesting that the government took extreme measures to make sure that he stayed quiet and their alien secrets stayed closed off. His sudden disappearance from the public eye only adds to the mystery, and many are wondering still to this day, was he a whistleblower telling the truth, or was his story fabricated for personal gain? What do you think? Comment down below.